just a thought, just a thought. It's my opinion, it's just a thought, just a thought. Get out your feelings.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Just a Thought with Sharí Nycole. I am so excited because one of my favorite voices, one of the most beautiful voices this music game has ever witnessed. Also, a beautiful woman, a woman who is intent on health and wellness, which is also very important, and a number of other things. Just a beautiful spirit all around. The one, the only Chrisette Michele is here with me now. She's got a new tour that's coming up very, very soon. We're going to talk about that and so much more. So without further ado, Chrisette Michele, what is going on? It's good to see you.
Hello. Thank you for that kind introduction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I meant every word. And we are in Mental Health Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important that we check in with each other. And I think sometimes people don't understand that public figures, you guys go through things too. Mm-hmm. So I want to check in with you right now. How are you? How's your spirit doing?
Thank you. I'm good. My spirit is always good. It's the human that I have to worry about, right? Like the person kind of trying to carry the purpose and the impact.
Yeah.
And travel takes a huge toll on that. And so that's what we balance right now is how do I travel and stay well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I wanna ask you about health and wellness because I have conversations with friends of mine often about, vitamins and yoga and going to the gym and just taking care of ourselves, getting enough sleep. What kind of conversations are you having with your village about health and wellness? And what kind of conversations do you think we need to be having overall more with each other and within our tribes about it?
I think for me personally, the number one thing that I advocate for is being okay with silence. We take so much time to do, but not as much time to be. And so then we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because we haven't checked in. We haven't decided what we think. We live in a world where everything that we think is questioned. Doesn't matter where we come from, what background, everything that we think is questioned and challenged. And so if we're never silent, we never tell ourselves yes. And we're always waiting for people to tell us yes.
Yeah.
And so silence is probably my number one wellness practice.
When did you learn the value of silence? At what point in your life did you learn that?
In this music business, I learned it early because I noticed how people act at tables at meetings. And I noticed this practice of nodding your head to what anyone is saying. And I'm really big on the power of agreements. And so I immediately knew that I couldn't nod my head. And so people would tell me, Chrisette, you have such a poker face. Is it because you're from New York? And it was, I would joke about it.
Yeah.
But the truth is I'm checking in because everybody's nodding and I have a company and my name is on it. And so if I'm just nodding, then I'm not really listening to myself at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I noticed at those long tables because they would put a single in the middle of the table. And then if the person at the head of the table nodded their head, then everybody would say, oh yeah, that's the one, that's going to be big. I remember Rihanna never nodding. And always telling people what she was going to put out. Always telling people what the next trend would be. And we would all marvel because she was always right. But she was so comfortable with that. That was cool to me. Yeah.
In the silence, what's the biggest takeaway so far that you've gathered that's helped to continue to anchor you, especially now at this point in your career?
It's okay that there's a lot of noise. When you're quiet, you hear all the noise. And as an artist or as a public figure, you want to go tackle the noise. You want to say, oh, I can help you understand that. And, oh, I can share with you why I said this and why I'm that way. And it gets overwhelming because you're just one person with all of this noise. So the one thing is to know that it's okay that there's a lot of noise and then being okay with just maybe answering one question at a time as opposed to 50, Yeah. That can be scary.
What is also scary is just what you guys go through as entertainers. You've gone through a lot. What is the root to your resilience?
Yeah. I have this idea that if somebody's hurting, I don't have to take it personally. Because a lot of times, if I take it personally, then I'll be fixing myself instead of helping you heal. What if I'm already okay and you just don't like me because it triggers something in you? And then if I'm mad at you for what you said to me, then I'll never confront you. We'll never have the conversation. I remember being under the the biggest part of an onslaught from social media.
Yeah.
And stopping in that silence to say, what exactly are they saying? And there was a lot of theys. And then who can I help and who is helping me?
Yeah.
Because some people were saying things that I needed to stop and think about. Oh, wait a minute. You can't do this and you can't do that. And you don't ever need to do that again, right? But then there were other people that if I would have taken personally what they would have said, I never would have put another song out. I never would have decided to go on another tour, make a clothing line. I would have just said, I'm not going to serve anybody anymore because everybody hates me. And I felt like that was cowardice. Yeah.
In a world where having your own opinion sometimes can be extremely threatening to other people, what say you to artists now who are because I'm watching people be more adamant and courageous about, no, this is how I feel. This is what it is. I'm leaving it here. Goodbye. What say you to the importance of doing that, especially in the times we're in now, because there's so much going on. Everybody's an expert in everything. What say you to that? Even in music, everybody's a singer. Everybody's an expert.
Why are there so many experts? Like my favorite 3 words are, I don't know. Right? Or let me figure that out.
The people know, Chrisette. They know everything.
But why? Like, okay, what's the point of knowing everything? I wrote this song called I Know Nothing. It's on an album I have called Let Freedom Reign. Like, I really live by that. Because you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And if you knew everything, then you're going to be really ashamed when you mess up.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get out of your shame. It's going to consume you. But if let me see, maybe this works. Maybe I'll try this. What about that way? Hey, do you know how to? But if you know everything, you never get to try. And that's no fun. I could be wrong, but I feel like
I agree.
My babies, like the next generation under me, are under so much pressure.
Yes.
Because they got to get it right the first time. I never get it right the first time. Ever. Maybe cook. You know, my first fried portobello mushrooms were pretty good. 500,000 views on Instagram. But somebody told me you have to use that New Orleans seasoning. What's it called? Like slap your mama? That was a suggestion. I put them on the mushrooms. Child, I got it right the first time. But I had a little help.
What's one thing you got wrong the first time?
Oh, my God. Everything.
That when you got it right, you mastered it or got it right at some point and it changed your life.
What did I get wrong the first time? You know what? Releasing music is petrifying because there's so many people involved in creating the sound. And when you put it out, you hope that people can see you.
Yeah.
I never felt seen in the beginning because there were so many people involved. Now, I'm okay with only sharing this song with this group of people, only sharing this side of me with that group of people. We live in a world now where you can have 11 audiences and just know 11 different audiences and market 11 different things. So me and Rudy Currens put out a song called Hey Rudy called No Greater Love.
Beautiful record.
I didn't market it to any of my R&B fans. I didn't even ask them what they thought. We only marketed in the gospel space. And it did really well. That was one of those moments where I felt like, okay, you got that right. You've been wanting to say that for a long time, and you've been holding it in for fear of too many people hearing that message and not knowing what to do with it. I've gotten right, finally, niche marketing.
Ooh.
It's one of my favorite things in the whole world.
I love that. I love that. Some would argue, and I don't, because I don't think R&B has ever gone anywhere. But some would argue that R&B is was in this niche space, and now we're seeing this this bubbling over again. People want R&B music again. When we look at where R&B music is, where it has been in the past, also where you kind of fit in, what say you to where we are? What still needs to happen, and how do you hope to contribute to that?
That's one of those places I don't have a big opinion.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I get that question a lot. You'd have to ask, like, Tyrese. He's so good with that subject, and he's so passionate about it. And I'm just like, okay, what song were you gonna sing? We did a song on his album Black Rose, and he was like, and then you're gonna put this part, and I'm gonna do this, and I was like, okay, you know. It's usually like that when I collaborate in the R&B space. People are very serious about what we're about to do, and I'm just like, okay, you know. And then we'll put it out, and it'll do well, and I'll be like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I'm not. I don't even get the phenomenon. I just sing it.
How do you stay so laid back in that creative process, whether it's collaborative or whether it's just you singing your own record by yourself?
It's the same I don't know energy. It's like, because people be knowing. Rudy Currents knew. He was like, this is it. And I said, Rudy, you know what? Can you come in the studio with me? Because I have no clue as to what I'm supposed to do. All these gospel riffs y'all got going on. Like, you
didn't sound like that on the record, though, Chrisette. You sounded like...
Rudy Currents was there. And he'll tell you. And we recorded it. It's all on camera. I said, come in the studio. And I said, okay, what are you thinking next? He was like, and then can you add this? And I was like, okay, sure. Because it's not my forte. I'm just good at it. I'm good at submitting. I'm good at following I'm great at following instructions. It's like my jam. Why? Because, first of all, I'm a female. I know that's going to bump a lot of people upside their head.
It doesn't bump me upside the head at all.
I'm good at following and, like, being guided. I'm kind of really good at it. And it doesn't make every man your boyfriend, but it makes men be in their place sometimes. Like,
now
some men really want to lead. And I'm not one of those women who say, don't tell me what to do. And then even my teammates, sometimes they'll be like, Chrissy, you a boss. And I'll be like, the boss is just not my energy. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a feminine thing or a personality type, but even with the new pieces and touring that I'm putting out, and even the fashion stuff that I'm putting out, I'm just embracing that truth about me. I don't need to be a type A female. It's okay.
It's interesting because your energy, your voice, everything says either boss or I'm in command, and not in a way that's abrasive at all, just very much in control. You're very poised. So it's interesting to me how you embrace the opportunity and the blessing of following, because I think it's just, I mean, your career is just, it's a beautiful one. But even like your voice is so unique. I just feel like you're in a lane all your own. So to hear you talk about the value of being led, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. I'm scared. Look, I'm nervous. Don't come for me in the comments.
Everybody relax. Jesus.
But yeah, if you ask Rudy, he'll say like, just thank you. He'll say thank you for believing in my vision, or like a Neil, or like anybody who I've worked with. They'll just be like, thanks for believing in my vision. Because I be thinking some stuff. I remember L.A. Reid. He was like, I need you to go in the studio and sing this song. And the name of the song was All I Ever Think About Is You. And I'm like, first of all, nobody's thinking about one person all day. And the song never went to radio, but if I perform it in my shows, the audience knows every single word. Like, that's their jam. And I'm just like, I would have never sang that song.
It's interesting because I have a Chrisette Michele story. We did the Fox Soul Mother's Day special. This might have been 2 years ago. And Chrisette's a one-take woman, okay? She's going to get it right. She's going to get it right the first time. And it was very much the, hey, we need you. You came in. This very angelic energy. We said, hey, Chrisette, we need you to do this. Okay.
Wait, what?
She
What
goes
note
up on
did I
stage and sings the song perfectly. Absolutely perfect the first time. It's like, doot, like it was nothing. And then just walked off. I was like, does she know who she is? Like,
I was following
seriously.
instructions. That's, I think, a big issue is if somebody tells you what to do and it works, like, it's okay. Now, I followed a really bad instruction on more than one occasion and suffered really bad consequences. So you have to be around the right people. Like, you have to be, because that can make or break a person like me. Like, some people are so headstrong that no matter who they're around, they're going to make the best choice. If I'm around the wrong people, I might make really big mistakes. I think top 3 mistakes of my life happened while I was around the worst people that I've ever been around. That's period.
And you don't have to give too much here. But with that being said, what was something about those connections that posed that type of threat to you that you are like adamant about, hey, I cannot be in the company of people that function in this way? What is the gauge for you when it comes to your tribe and community, with that being said?
Fear-based thinking. And fear-based thinking just means I believe what the world is saying about me right now. That's it. It's not like a super special deep thing. It's a life that is anchored in systematic oppression.
Yeah.
And so kingdom thinking is I believe what God says about me. Because those two items are juxtaposed, and they are what you speak about.
Yeah.
They're how you respond, and they're how you react. And so if your team reacts from fear-based thinking, then your business practices are going to be reactive to what's going on in society.
Absolutely.
And so my biggest mistakes were reactive to what was going on in modern day society. Period. Yeah. And so I refer to those as my mistakes because I allowed myself to be in the same thought process and space. But now I know, you know what, if it's just one person rocking with me instead of 11 in my entourage, because we had security, we was carrying guns, we was in 4 Mercedes Sprinters. It was just fear-based business at all times for about 3 years of my life. And you can see who I was, what I did, how I responded to the world then versus now. It's a completely different experience.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Speaking of experiences, we've got the tour coming up, which makes me very excited. I love the name of the tour, everybody. The Soft Life Circle Inner Wellness Tour. There's so much that encompasses that. So first of all, how did you come up with the name of the tour? And then ultimately, how does this tour experience, how do you hope it and intend for it to be different than the other tours that you've done in the past?
Sure. So we did a tour called the Pose and Post Symposium about 8 years ago. Basically, we bring everybody into a smaller space.
Yeah.
And we have conversation, too. And then the performance is more of, hey, these are some songs that are on my heart. You don't even have to applaud. You can just hear the words, and we can talk about them after. And then there's yoga. Yoga is something that helped me soften my body, and not just in the, physical wellness, but in the, where is that emotion living inside of me?
Yeah.
Can we shake it off? So we'll do some practice like that. And then we'll play around in some vegan food, literally bring in some chefs.
Are you making mushrooms?
There'll probably be mushrooms, but I know a lot of people don't like those. So there'll also be tofu. But there'll be fun foods to try and kind of like play in.
Yeah.
So nobody takes it too seriously. You know what I mean? We're doing it together because people are always asking questions about vegan food.
Yeah.
So the Soft Life Circle Inner Wellness Tour is just about being okay with the softening. It's scary to soften in a world so hard.
Yeah, it is.
People keep saying, I'm protecting my peace. But the Bible says that peace protects my heart and my mind. And so I just want to introduce this concept that peace is protecting you.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't have to harden. Peace is protecting you. And so I wrote a song called Peace Protect My Heart, another one called Home. We're going to bring those to radio. I'm going back to radio for the first time in like 7 years.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I honestly, truthfully, was so petrified of rejection for about 4 or 5 years. I refused to put myself out there. I did a lot of performances and theater, but I refused to be like, here's a piece of my heart. So I left it in my prayer life only. Like I put my heart in my prayer life and left it there. And then my prayer life was like, oh, but I have a song though. And I was like, this is a worship song prayer.
Right.
No one's giving that to the people. So I sat down with Jonathan McReynolds.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hi. And I sat down with my best friend, Danielle Lewis. She's a gospel worship leader. And I was like, how do you guys take what's in your, how do you guys take what's in your prayer life and give it to people? It feels like cheating. That's what I said. I got really rude. I was rude.
That's deep, Chrisette.
I was so rude. It was like borderline disrespectful. But what I love about my gospel friends is they are so okay with debate.
It's real. It's real life.
Yeah, they're R&B friends. If they decide like we got to do this, there's a budget for it.
Yeah.
Gospel is like, oh, what do you think? Oh, you think so? Oh, let's go to the Word about it. It's like, wow, this is a great conversation. Everybody, let's bow our heads. Let's pray about it. Whoa! Right here in the restaurant. Happens all the time with my gospel friends. But they were so full of grace with me. And finally, I spoke to my pastor, Pastor Hart Ramsey, in Atlanta, and I was just like, it feels really awkward sharing my heart. I don't think I've ever done that in 15 years. Music has never been my therapy. So this this is new for me. And now this type of rejection wouldn't matter as much because it's a song to God first. He really liked it. It seemed like he was like,
he was turning up to it.
He was all over my girl. He's like, I'm with you. I'm here. I was like, are you? This is so nice. Oh my God. Do we sing this to people? He was like, yes. I was like, wow. So the first song is called Home, which nobody's going to say it's gospel, but it was in my prayers. So I guess that makes it gospel.
That is beautiful.
I don't know how it works.
You mentioned that during the tour, people don't have to clap. And it's interesting because that's normally what most entertainers, even just people in general, they look for this all the time in everything. Have you always been that person, that artist that says, I don't need this. I just want to be able to use my gift?
So I deal with a little bit of anxiety. And so clapping is almost awkward. I grew up in the church as a worship leader, not even in the choir type of thing.
Yeah.
But more like we are inviting the presence of the Lord.
Yeah.
Here. So everything's about him. I used to tell my pastor back in the day, like, can we just sing behind blankets and like just let everybody feel?
Yeah.
Because I feel so awkward, like taking up so much space. So I've recently had to learn that I am God's hand on the earth. And it's okay if they see you. And so the applause now, I just consider it a release. Like the audience has to release something.
Yeah.
Because they just took something in. So they kind of just got to let go. And so we get like standing ovations in the middle of shows sometimes. And I'll just step back and look at the band and be like, you okay? You okay? You know? Because they know me. They know
Wow.
me. It's like, it's a lot.
Wow.
I don't know, but that's me being a weirdo.
I don't think it's
Socially anxious.
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
No?
I think it's quite fascinating and endearing, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I want to, speaking of release, I didn't get a chance to ask you this, though, because I love yoga as well. I'm a Bikram girl. What's your favorite yoga practice? and why?
Restorative yoga. And people are so scared of yoga. So one day we'll have that conversation. But restorative, the goal for me is to get people to find out what meditation is.
Okay.
The goal for me is to get you to quiet yourself so much that you hear yourself for the first time. Because once people start hearing themselves, they might say, I don't like what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's a scary kind of
That thought.
Yeah.
And then my message after that is, well, you don't have to have it.
right.
Put ye on the mind of Christ.
Then there's that.
There's my sales pitch. But yeah, people don't even know what they're thinking. I find that often. And you get all of these, like, there's this YouTube video where he goes around and asks people really simple questions. What's 9 times 9? But he says it really fast and he comes out of nowhere. And people get all the questions wrong because they're so overwhelmed by the stimulus that's going on and they can't even hear their brain. So I just want you to get calm enough to hear your brain. and then we can figure out if we like that stuff or not.
I love it. I love it. So back to the tour. We got the tour, and I know you're more than the music. So what else can we expect from Chrisette Michele as we move forward? Because I'm excited about this year for you, honestly.
So I keep getting movie roles and parts in TV stuff.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You give me that. Do you realize how animated you are and how you can go in and out of calmness very seamlessly?
Yes, I've heard this.
It's a gift.
Okay, thank you.
You're an actress, but you're authentic, so it's
yeah,
fun.
because it's always been a lot. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as my hair is let down, it's down. But so I've been getting parts. I'm in a new. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we'll just say I'm in a Christmas movie this year so far.
Great.
And then there's some other really fun stuff. So I'm acting.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
What rush does it give you that singing doesn't? That you enjoy?
I don't have to be myself for like an hour. Like whatever thoughts this actress has, I get to think those for a minute. It's like yoga.
You make it sound so easy.
It is easy.
Well, speaking of easy, it's easy for you guys to get tickets to this tour. At least that's what Chrisette and her team are telling me. Mm-hmm. So how can they do that? Where do they need to go? Because I'm going to be there because this is fun. This sounds just like a beautiful, relaxing release, spiritually just engulfed. I'm excited. So how can other people get excited too?
TheSoftLifeCircle.com. You can get tickets there now.
And guys, I want you to reach out to Chrisette and just tell her how amazing she is. So how can they do that on social media?
Chrisette Michele with one L.
I love it.
That's me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's Chrisette M.
I will see you at the tour, Chrisette. Thank you for just all that you've invested in this industry and beyond. It has not gone unnoticed.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but the best. We'll do this again.
Yes, thank you so much.
Just a thought, it's my opinion. It's just a thought, Get out your